Okay, I just have to share this really quick. From one of my past clients, I just got this text. It says, hey, I had my annual MRIs yesterday, brain, spine, and thoracic. She said preliminary results, ... drum roll, ... And then she writes, no active lesions, 3 exclamation marks. Then she says, my neurologist made a deal with me. She said she would stop bugging me about doing the IV treatment if my MRIs were good and show no active lesions. She said she was very excited at my appointment last month to see how well I was doing. God, that's so exciting. She is doing so well, and you can do the same. I'm going to talk to you today how getting multiple sclerosis can be a blessing in disguise. And you might be thinking, Adrienne, really a blessing? I don't think so. Well, keep listening, because once you figure out how to heal yourself, you can show others how to do it too. And I'm talking any disease. I'm talking about autoimmune diseases too. I'm talking about heart disease or diabetes, or really anything. Do you know that 1 in 7 people have an autoimmune disease in America? And do you know that 60% of people in the US have some sort of chronic disease, and 40% have 2 or more chronic diseases? You could be their savior once you figure out, or you take my program and do some health coaching sessions with me and figure out how to heal yourself. You can help others. This is a blessing, and you get to learn what you need to do to turn this around, and then you will share it. You'll figure out how it really was a blessing in disguise. Trust me. Are you struggling with multiple sclerosis, or you have a loved one who's been diagnosed and you're searching for more answers outside your typical medical system? You're not alone. Your intuition is telling you there's more information out there, and you're right. Hi, I'm Adrienne. I'm a certified integrative nutrition health coach, author, and speaker. I'm also somebody who has reversed and healed all of my own MS symptoms and can get you there too. Are you ready to dive in? I am. Let's go. There's a reason why you were diagnosed with MS. And I know there was a reason why I was diagnosed. There always is a reasoning behind it. You might not see it now, but you will see it sometime in the future. So I'm going to explain why this is so. And number one, it's never easy and it's never good news to be diagnosed with MS. God, I was scared. I was confused. I was frightened. I was beside myself. I couldn't believe what I was hearing when I was diagnosed. And I'm sure you feel the same way. And I didn't know a lot about the disease at the time. This was over 10 years ago. And back then, I gave all my power to that doctor, the person in the white jacket, because I believed back then I knew what they were doing and they knew how to help me. But it took me about a month and a half to realize that I could heal myself. When I got those test results and saw those lesions all over my brain, I couldn't believe it. I thought, I'm pretty darn healthy. I go to the gym. My diet is pretty darn good. These were my thoughts. And then, of course, I was on that drip with those steroids. That was my first and only treatment, thank God, from that neurologist. It was a 3 to 4 day drip. I can't remember if it was 3 or 4 days, but I remember after the treatment, 3 to 4 days later, I started getting this migraine headache, and I didn't know where it was coming from. And this lasted for 30 days. It was awful. And during this time, my husband said, honey, we're going to have to tell the kids. And I wasn't ready. I had to process what was going on with me. I couldn't work. I was a realtor at the time. Thank God my husband was also a realtor. He had to pick up the slack for me because I was in bed. I started gaining all these other symptoms: brain fog, numbness, severe fatigue. I just wanted to sleep all day. And it wasn't until 2 weeks later, after my diagnosis, my husband took the kids outside. And my oldest son, all my kids were adults at that time, and they were all out of the house. And my oldest son, Taylor, was with his girlfriend, Sarah, who's now my daughter-in-law. She had just graduated from Colorado State University, got her degree in dietetics, and she walked up to my husband afterwards. Again, I'm in bed, in pain, with a migraine headache, with all those other symptoms I just told you about. And Sarah walks up to my husband and says, Todd, Adrienne can manage her symptoms with diet. And so after Todd told me this, I thought, that's interesting. I'm going to do research on that. And that's when I had my laptop in bed and discovered I could heal myself, mostly through food. And I was elated. And that's what I did. It took anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks to heal everything except for the blind spot in my left eye. That took 4 to 5 months. But at the same time, I was elated. I didn't realize I had this ability. And we all can do this. We can all do this. Because I was basically on the SAD diet, the SAD, Standard American Diet. I was eating way too much bread. I was eating lots of dairy. I had cereal for breakfast in the morning, Raisin Bran. I thought that was a healthy meal. Stayed away from eggs because I was taught that egg yolks have cholesterol. Those are bad, and bacon was bad, and cereal was good. Well, guess what? I had to totally flip-flop that because eggs and bacon is a healthy breakfast and Raisin Bran is not. So how was this all a blessing in disguise? Because number one, I found out that I can heal myself and that I didn't have to take drugs. I was elated when I found that out. Number one, I didn't want to put all these drugs in my body. And number two, financially, I did research on this. Your average MS drug costs anywhere from $55,000 and over now $100,000 a year. And guess who's paying for this? Us, with our health insurance. That's why our health insurance is so expensive, because these mega drug companies, big pharma, is making big bucks due to our illnesses. And guess what? And the drugs do not cure us. And most of them have side effects. And we're paying for these. Most people with MS are on drugs and they're paying for these drugs. Yes, the insurance is covering most of it. But again, who's paying for it? All of us are. Sorry, I kind of got on a tangent there, but it sets an inferno up inside of me when I think about big pharma making all this money. And I know for the most part, it's not helping us. Your doctor will tell you that these drugs will stop future relapses, and you might think that's true. But I've talked to other people and they tell me that it's not true. So let me get back to the subject here. So number one, I was elated that I knew I can heal myself. Reason number two, why getting MS was a blessing in disguise. Because I had to learn about diet. I took a year-long course on health coaching and along with nutrition and integrative health, so I can learn what a healthy lifestyle looks like and how to heal. If I wasn't diagnosed with MS, I never would have learned all of this. And if I wasn't diagnosed with MS, I probably would have been diagnosed with something else in the future because I wasn't eating the right things and I wasn't taking care of myself. And then I also had to take care of my emotional health. I was too stressed at work. So there's a lot that goes into healing, not just diet. It's also your mental health, your emotional health. It's exercise, it's moving your body, and it's learning how to take care of yourself. It's self-care. It's learning how to say no more often Think about yourself more often. Be more selfish. 80% of women are the ones with autoimmune diseases. And here's why. We give too much. We don't take enough. We don't take care of ourselves. So this is another thing I had to learn. And there's a lot more that goes into self-care. Number 3, why getting MS was a blessing in disguise. I was able to share with other people what I did and what a healthy life looks like. Now, when I was a realtor at the time, this is 5 years ago, I decided I'm going to have a course for anybody that has symptoms, anything, skin issues, headaches, stomach problems, bloating, walking issues, numbness, fatigue, brain fog, arthritis, anything. And guess what? I had 45 people sign up for my program at work. And it was about a 3-month program. And guess what? The people that took it seriously had great results. They were elated, and so was I. I taught people about the right foods they needed to start eating and taught them about other healing modalities. And then I thought, I'm going to write a cookbook. I'm going to get this out. Lots of people bought my cookbook, and I had so many thank yous because in America, we're not taught what's healthy and what's not. The food companies here, they tell you, for example, eat cereal. There's healthy grains in here. Milk. Does the body good? No, it doesn't. I learned that later. So I learned so much about what a healthy diet looks like. So I wrote a cookbook about it. And I wanted to put together delicious recipes. Eating healthy can be really joyful and healthy at the same time. And I also made a bunch of connections. So number 4 is if I never got diagnosed with MS, I would not have made the connections that I have today. I was able to interview over 10 people who also healed their MS, and I got to hear their stories. And I wrote a book about it because I wanted to get it out. So my mission in this life, I've decided, is getting out the fact that we all have the ability to heal naturally. We really do. And I was able to put on an autoimmune summit last year. Actually, no, it came out in January, but I recorded everything the year before, and it came out in January. I was able to help a bunch of people with autoimmune diseases, letting them know that healing is possible. I made connections with lots of people who healed their autoimmune diseases, and they shared their stories. And that's what I did with the Autoimmune Summit. It was a lot of fun, and I was able to help a ton of people. So whatever you're going through, you might have just been diagnosed, or you might have been diagnosed 30 years ago. It doesn't matter. You can still heal. You can still learn. You can still change your habits. You can still heal yourself out of a wheelchair or donate that cane and walker, because if you put in the work, you won't need it anymore. So I hope that you realize later on, after you heal yourself, you will discover that this was a blessing in disguise for you too, because you will pass this news on to your loved ones and your friends. And it's like throwing a pebble in a pond. It's a ripple effect. Because once you tell somebody or tell a couple of people what happened to you and that you healed yourself, that all your symptoms are gone, they're going to tell people. And then those people are going to tell people. And it's just going to grow. And the other blessing in disguise is I find joy from helping people heal their disease. It can be done. There's still at least 50% of people out there that don't think it's true. And it is. There's too many people I know that have done this, including myself. I've walked in your shoes. And if you want support, God, just reach out to me. Send me an email, info@nourishyourway.com, and we'll have a chat. You don't have to use me as a health coach, but we could do a couple of coaching calls. That might be what you need. Or you can take my 12-week course and learn everything. That's how you will heal the quickest, because I have put into that course what I've learned in the first 5 years of getting better. And it depends what your desire is. If you want to heal quickly, you'll do it. So I hope this has helped you today. Reach out if you have any questions, info@nourishyourway.com. And until next time, you'll hear from me in a couple of days. Are you on the fence and wondering if you can heal and would like some support from somebody who's been in your shoes? You can absolutely heal, and I can walk you through my 12-week program. Change is hard, but I've made it much easier to modify your dietary habits and other lifestyle changes like body movement, emotional health, and self-care. I'm with you all the way, so just hop onto my website, nourishyourway.com, and navigate to the Work With Me page. You can either sign up there or apply for a 30-minute free call with me if you have any questions. Taking action is the first step, and I'm behind you. Also, if you like this podcast, please share it to somebody else who might be struggling. I'm so happy to be a guiding light for you, and I'll be back in a few days.